What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the BenchWire Podcast. Today we got quite a bit to talk about, starting with the NFL trade deadline that we kind of covered in the last podcast. But the last few trades of the day after we were done recording were actually pretty crazy. We're going to go into depth about our thoughts on each one from the deadline, and we're even going to go back to, I think it was October 10th when Deion Jones was traded. So we're going to start with that one. Let's just get right into it. The Atlanta Falcons, they traded Deion Jones for pretty much, a 2024 sixth. So nothing really. I believe they included a seventh as well. The trade over the last few weeks, it's been, it's kind of worked out for them. Deion Jones has played well from what I've seen. From what fans have said, he's played well as well. But he's not what he used to be, even though he's only 28. So it's kind of weird to say that he's washed up a little bit. But he's a really good linebacker, and I think that the trade was pretty good for both teams. The Falcons get something out of it. I believe his contract is over after this year.
Not sure.
I'm not sure either. I believe I looked into it. They might have done kind of what the Eagles did, which is they bought out his contract so that this was the last year.
Possibly.
Something like that.
I would do that.
But, Browns took a little bit of a risk bringing him in, right? Or maybe not a risk, but they took a chance on him because they don't know what he was going to end up being. And he's been pretty good. So the grade I would give it would be, for the Browns, I'd probably give it B-. For the Falcons, probably a C- just because you kind of don't get much for somebody who's been playing pretty well for them.
I would give it for the Browns a B+. I think he's a linebacker that's going to come in there and make plays for them, and he's shown it thus far. And for the Falcons, probably, I would say C-, because, you're in the middle of a rebuild and you're just getting rid of him, and he still could have been a solid player for you, but you just decided to part ways, so that's the grade I would give it.
Yeah. Okay. The next trade was Carolina Panthers trading Robbie Anderson to the Arizona Cardinals for a 2024 6th round and a 2025 7th. They did this trade right after Hollywood Brown was hurt, right? Or suffered an injury that was going to sideline him for at least the next month. I mean, it was going to be really till the end of the season. And I think Anderson can be a good deep threat target at times, but I don't know. I just don't think the trade was really necessary. They got D-Hop back literally the next week, right?
Mm-hmm.
Rondale Moore.
Solid guy.
Yeah, he's a solid receiver. And then Greg Dortch was playing well. They still have A.J. Green.
Washed A.J. Green.
He is washed. He is definitely
anymore.
washed. But the fact is, to get rid of a 6th and a 7th when, listen, you're likely not going to hit on those picks, but you could, right?
You could.
So I don't think it was worth it, especially because Robbie Anderson, it's kind of weird this year. Kind of like a diva.
He is a diva.
Know.
That's the definition of Robbie Anderson right now.
I'd probably say Cardinals. I understand what they were doing, so I'll give them a C+. The Panthers, A+, just for getting rid of them, honestly. But realistically, I'd give the Panthers a B.
Yeah, I give the Panthers a B. Just getting rid of him out of the locker room. He was not worth having in there. Just didn't want to be on the field at all. So shipping him out to Arizona was the right choice. Arizona, they haven't used him well. That's because they have lots of depth on the roster. I guess getting Kyler another weapon is cool and all, but he hasn't done anything thus far. So hopefully they could start getting him more involved, win some games, get in that playoff picture. We'll see. But so far, I would rate the Cardinals this pickup probably a C+.
Mm-hmm. All right, so this is the trade that broke the internet for the day, or it was at night, wasn't it?
It was at night.
It was at midnight. You knocked on my door, and you're like, bro.
Yeah, it was nuts.
Yeah. Carolina Panthers, they trade Christian McCaffrey to the San Francisco 49ers for a 2023 second-round pick, 2023 third-round pick, and then a 2023 fourth-round pick, and then additionally a 2024 fifth-round pick. Obviously a ton to give up, but these last 2 weeks, it looks like it's going to pay off. And Christian McCaffrey and Kyle Shanahan's offense is a match made in heaven, right? in his first game, like as the 49ers' legitimate running back, which was it wasn't this past weekend. This was their bye week, so the week before that, right? He had a receiving touchdown, rushing touchdown, and passing touchdown.
He's elite.
It was 149 scrimmage yards in total. It was just insane. And talking about Shanahan's system, the running backs that they've had, right? Tevin Coleman, Matt Breida, Raheem Mostert, Elijah Mitchell, Jeff Wilson. I mean, just all of those guys, he's made them look good. And not to say that they aren't good, right? But he's made them look better than what they are.
Yes. And
now that you kind of like input Christian McCaffrey there, I mean, as soon as they start getting on a roll, I'm an Eagles fan. You can see it on the hat. They're one of the few teams in the NFC, the weak NFC, that like I genuinely like. I'm scared of them.
Yeah,
because you can't stop Christian McCaffrey. The only thing that can stop him is injuries.
Yeah,
and listen, before like I'm a fan of the Eagles, but like I'm a fan of football. I don't want to see him hurt.
No one does.
Like I would love to see McCaffrey have a full season into the playoffs and like show us what he can do. So if they can get Debo and Kittle going as well, bro. That team's insane.
Oh, yeah.
The only thing is I wish he would have picked up like William Jackson or something to help the secondary, but I think you mentioned that, right?
Yeah, something. You have to make some move.
Just because it is kind of weak.
It is kind of weak. Maybe pick up a free agent. I don't know who's out there right now.
But who knows? Maybe Shanahan's like, you know what? I like our depth.
Oh, yeah. I think the addition of Christian McCaffrey, though, adds like a different element to their offense. Like a guy that can catch the ball, run the ball, pass the ball. You've seen it all happen in that one game. I think he's going to make them like a top 5 rushing team. Even if they're not one right now, they should be. By the end of the season, they will. But I think that helps out Jimmy G. Just have another option to give it to. Like when you're about to get sacked, McCaffrey's going to be open in space. So just give it to him. He'll make something happen. He's a playmaker. Very elite. And you might have gave up a lot of draft picks, but I think it was worth it because they're trying to win now, obviously. That's why you make that move. He gave a second, a third, a fourth, and a fifth. That's not bad for a guy like that can help you win now. And I think it was the right move for the Niners, and you stole him away from the Rams, who were also trying to make an offer for McCaffrey, and you took him. So I think it's a win-win for the Niners.
Yeah, and just kind of like what you said with like the whole check down thing, like that's gonna do wonders for Trey Lance next year.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, just a great trade from the 49ers. I'm actually gonna give the 49ers for the grade. I'm gonna give them because of what I've seen so far and how I think it's gonna end up working. Obviously, you can't predict injuries, but I would say it's probably an A-.
Yeah,
I think the reason I can't do A or A+ is because like injuries happen to be part of kind of who he is, which is really unfortunate because he's such a great player. But yeah, and then for the Panthers to get rid of him was the right choice. There was no reason to hold on to him.
Oh yeah,
he wasn't going to be part of a rebuild.
Yeah,
especially because running backs, they don't. I mean, they get replaced, right?
They get replaced. Unless you're generational. He is generational, but at the time, he's getting older, and they're not going to win within the next 3 years, so you move off of him, get some draft picks, rebuild.
Yeah, so I'm going to give the Panthers a B+. I can't give him an A because even though I said it was the right choice to get rid of him,
he's still that guy. He's him.
Like, he's still Christian McCaffrey, so like, I would have thought, I don't know. I'll give him an A-. I'll make it A- for both.
I would give for the Niners an A from what I've seen so far. I'm not giving an A+. Say they won a division and all that, I'll change my grade to an A+, and then they're in the NFC Championship game. It's definitely an A+, because that's what you trade them for, to win now. But the Panthers, I would give it a B+ right now, because their offense, it's still decent, but it's not the same when you don't have McCaffrey in the lineup.
Yeah.
But Dante Foreman has stepped up. He had that 3-touchdown game, and you got draft picks for the future. You don't know who your coach is going to be next year yet, so just got to find out ways to win and for the rebuild, and that's what they did. They got all those draft picks, and I think it's a B+ right now.
After Breece Hall, unfortunately, tore his ACL, the Jets, like immediately, right after the game, went out.
Literally.
Yeah, and they went and they traded for James Robinson, And he's contributed right away. Him and Michael Carter, they're holding it down for Breece Hall. And, he's helped them win. Even this last week when they upset the Bills. Or I say last week. This last Sunday.
This past Sunday.
Yeah, the past Sunday. Where they upset the Bills 20-17. Listen, I just want to give props, right, to the Jets. Because they didn't let that Breece Hall injury kind of put a halt on them deciding to be competitive this season. They easily could have been like, all right, pack it up-ish, right? Let's just kind of be the Jets. But they went out and they grabbed the stud and they, went on to beat the Bills this past Sunday. So props to the Jets. Great future ahead of them.
Yeah, I would rate that trade, I don't know. I'm thinking B+, because James Robinson hasn't done much yet. It's been more the Michael Carter show. I was going to give it like a B. Yeah, it's been more the Michael Carter show, but let James Robinson get used to the playbook, get used to that offense, and the Jets are still winning with not having Breece Hall, and you got a guy in James Robinson that can, replace that void. So I think that's why I'm giving it a B+ for that reason alone. And the Jets, man, they're looking good. No one expected them to be this good this year. Robert Saleh, heck of a job coaching. And Zach Wilson, he hasn't been great, but the team built around him, the GM, he's making the right moves. And it's kind of fun watching both New York teams being successful this year, and props to the Jets for making a move and getting James Robinson to replace Breece Hall.
Yeah, I'm actually looking right now. I accidentally forgot to include what they got. So Jacksonville got a 2023 conditional 6th-round pick. So I'm going to give the Jags – I'm going to give them a C.
Yeah, I would give them a C.
I don't like getting rid of James Robinson. He's a good player. I don't know how much money he would have asked for, but who knows? I mean, you know what? He's undrafted. You get a pick back. Whatever. I'll up it. C+, and then for the Jets, a B. Okay. Solid trade. I think the Jets one can go up because obviously if he contributes more, more impactful, the trade was yada, yada, yada. Next trade was the Chicago Bears traded Robert Quinn to my Philadelphia Eagles for a 2023 4th-round pick. Personally, I have mixed views on the trade. I was really excited at first, and then obviously, kind of just like any other team or fan base that goes through trades, right? You give it a few days, and then all of a sudden, you start thinking about it more, and you kind of let it settle in. Fact is, I think that Robert Quinn is one heck of a player. The season that he had last year was really good. The last 2 games that he's played, he's looked pretty good as well. He's got some pressures. He made a crucial 3rd down stop, and he's actually made a few. I'm pretty sure. But he has stood out, right? He hasn't just kind of been he's kind of like a rotational piece. No, he's stood out, and I think it's hard for people to look at that 4th-round pick and be like, it's not an overpay. You know what I mean? Because he's 32, and he has no sacks this year. He might have 1.
Yeah.
And everyone was overreacting, and then the kind of PFF loves the Eagles, and they backed us up, and they said, yo, he has had more double teams than Micah Parsons and Nick Bosa this year. Teams that wanted to beat the Bears, you had to take Robert Quinn out of the equation. So, obviously now with kind of who he's playing with, we've seen his impact more. I'm excited for it. I think that I'd probably give the trade for the Eagles. I'm gonna give it a B.
That's surprising.
It is surprising. I think you think I'd be extremely biased, but unfortunately on the podcast, there's no biasness for me right now.
Oh, wow.
It's going to be a B. I think, again, it can raise over the season.
I was going to give it a higher grade, but keep talking.
The reason I give it a B is just because a 4th-round pick is a 4th-round pick. That is...
And plus...
when you think of the draft, right, and, you're thinking, returns...
Mm-hmm.
It goes, okay, 1st-round pick, insane return. 2nd-round pick, oh, my God. 3rd-round pick, okay. That works. That's pretty good. 4th round,
solid.
That solid. Then it kind of goes off, right?
Yeah.
So we gave them a solid round pick for a guy who's going to be leaving at the end of the season, because we bought out his contract or whatever, right?
Yeah.
From what I read, I can confirm it, but I'm pretty sure that is what I saw. That he'll be a free agent after this year. Maybe he comes back. If he comes back and he continues to help us, then obviously, grade goes up. But, yeah, and then for the Bears, I'm going to give that – for the Bears, I'm going to honestly give them an A-. They got a fourth-round pick. And they got a fourth-round pick. They did have to retain some of his salary, but everyone kind of knew that, right? No one's going to pick up what he was making. Yeah, I think the Bears won the trade by a little bit. But don't let that make you think that this trade was bad for the Eagles because they got better still. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, an already amazing team got even better. So, obviously, when that trade went down, it was like, oh, my God. Seriously? They just added on? They didn't need to. But, yeah.
Do you think the Eagles overpaid for him?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. What would you have traded? A fifth?
I do a fifth. I think a fourth is a little rough because, again, we kind of talked about it. It's like solid. Fourth is like the last round of the draft where it's like, okay, solid. Like, you can get a solid player from this.
I don't think the Eagles overpaid. I think that was the perfect price for him because, say you won the Super Bowl, it was worth it.
Well, yeah, but again, that's why I say the trade can go up or the grade can go up.
But the thing is, I get your point because they only have him for this year. They don't have him for the next 2 years.
Yeah, like if they kept that contract,
years,
and I kind of didn't want to because we have people we need to pay.
Yeah.
C.J. Gardner-Johnson, Howie, please. Like, we have people that we need to pay. So that's kind of also why it's like I'm okay with it, though.
Okay. I think, Eagles win the trade if they win the Super Bowl. This year, I believe for the Eagles, it's Super Bowl or bust. You have a great...
No.
Yes.
You don't say that when you have a guy like Jalen Hurts who hasn't even seen the second round yet. It's not Super Bowl bust.
It's
it is NFC
Super Bowl
Championship
bust.
or bust.
With how weak the NFC is right now.
It's NFC Championship or bust.
No, it's Super Bowl or bust. I don't want to hear that. With how weak the NFC is right now, I think you all could go to Super Bowl.
Homie.
No?
Everyone knows the quarterback is the most important position in football.
He's been playing like an MVP though.
But the playoffs are different. We need to see it.
Okay.
And I'm saying, as an Eagles fan, my opinion matters most on this.
Okay.
All right? As an Eagles fan,
as a Giants
I just want
fan,
to see
Super
growth.
Bowl or bust for the Eagles.
I just want to see growth from Jalen Hurts in the playoffs.
I think you've seen growth.
Our team is really good. We're built for the future as well. People think we're built like for the present right now. Like, we have a great mix of veterans. That is true. Every team that wants to compete, they need a great mix of veterans.
Yeah.
But like, that doesn't mean that next year we can't try to compete for the Super Bowl the year after. It's not Super Bowl or bust. The Super Bowl or bust was for the Rams because they had so many old players that were contemplating retiring. Like, that's why it's Super Bowl or bust. It can't be Super Bowl or bust for us because we could easily just do it next year then. You know what I mean?
Like, I think it's Super Bowl or bust because of how weak the NFC is. The NFC is so weak, so you could like pursue a Super Bowl this year.
We could.
That's why I think it's Super Bowl or bust.
But again,
this is the year because of how weak the NFC is.
We've played the top teams in the NFC right now.
Yeah.
And they didn't look too good, but that doesn't mean that they can't get better throughout the season to make it more competitive. And that's what the Vikings are doing. The Vikings, when we faced them, they were struggling a little bit, but they were kind of back on their groove, right? They were 3-1 at the time, or something like that.
Yeah, they haven't lost since.
Yeah, so
they almost lost this past Sunday,
but Kirk got hurt, so it's like it's hard to kind of judge that. But yeah, we got to move on.
Yeah. Wait, let me grade this. I think Robert Quinn for the Eagles, you get a B+. I think because if you win now, I think his ceiling is like Chris Long on the Eagles a few years ago. You win now, win that Super Bowl. It was worth it.
I think that's a ceiling.
That is
I think
so
the ceiling's
ceiling.
probably higher. He is Robert Quinn.
Chris Long was pretty good.
I think it was at the end of his career, like the end of his career.
I feel like Robert Quinn has like 2-3 years left.
That was more than what Chris Long had.
All right, whatever.
So like that's why I said like
I'm thinking that's a ceiling. Though.
Quinn is more in his prime than Chris Long was, and I love Chris Long.
Mm-hmm. But I think that's what I'm comparing it to. So I'm giving the Eagles a B+.
We're moving on. No.
And then the Bears, I'm giving it a B+ as well because they moved him, got rid of him, and they're rebuilding. So there you go.
All right, the New York Giants traded Kadarius Toney to the Chiefs for a 2023 third-round compensatory pick.
Compensatory pick.
Yeah, nobody can say that word.
I just said it.
But even when you said it was a little rough too.
No. You're just making fun of me.
I believe that because it is that kind of pick, the way I look at it is it's kind of a fourth. It's not really a third because it's like that. Like there's 32 teams, right?
But it's
like the 35th. It's like the 35th pick in the third round, so it's technically the fourth round. So I kind of look at it as like a fourth. So they got a fourth round pick, and then they got a 2023 sixth as well. So I think the trade was good for both sides. Giants wasted a first round pick on Toney, and they got something back, and that's all you can ask for, right? You can agree with that. All you can ask for is to get something back. Like, the fact that you even got something that is labeled a third round pick is insane.
I think it was great value what we got back because he never saw the field. He wasn't relevant for us, and he had one good game as a first-round pick in his first year. That is awful.
So
I think it was worth a third and, a sixth?
Mm-hmm.
So I'll take it.
So the Chiefs, talking about the Chiefs and what they've got with Toney, they find, like, after losing Tyreek Hill, they were kind of...
I saw that one route. Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. After losing Tyreek Hill, they were kind of missing the extremely athletic dude. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And, well, other than McCall Hardman. But the fact is they got the human joystick, which is what they needed. And I'm sure throughout the next few weeks we'll see him actually get into the offense. I do think he will be a starting receiver on that team. I think he's going to replace MVS because MVS has been awful.
I wouldn't say he's been awful.
He has not gotten open like that. He can't. Like,
but
he struggles to create
touchdowns.
separation.
He's made plays. It was worth the
signing.
signing.
He scored touchdowns. I don't know about that.
He scored touchdowns.
Let's see. More than no touchdowns on the season.
That's a lie.
Homie, I am looking at it right now. Swear on my life.
Well, you know who else has no touchdowns on the season and in his career? Kadarius Toney.
That was unnecessary.
No. It was deserved.
Regardless, though, he will end up replacing him. He has a higher ceiling than MVS. He probably...
Yeah, I would hope so.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. I think the Chiefs are going to get him to what he was supposed to be. It's unfortunate that the Giants couldn't get it out of him because he kind of has a bad work ethic, but I think if anyone is to fix that, it would be Andy Reid, who's going to destroy him in practices if he does not do what he's supposed to do. You know what I mean?
He'd rather be a rapper. That's why he was bad on the Giants.
He would. I'm going to give the trade for the Giants. I mean, again, for the Giants, I'll give it an A-.
Because it's a third
I can't give it an A.
Third and six.
Well, for you, it's a third. For me, I look at it differently, but that's just because I'm very, like, number-y. Like, I'm analytical like that.
He's nerdy.
So I look at, like, they got an early fourth and a sixth, and the reason I can't give it an A or an A+ is just because it was a wasted draft pick on him. But I'll give you an A- because you got something back.
Mm-hmm.
For the Chiefs, it's undecided. I'm not going to give it a grade because I can't. I feel like it's undecided. I know you will because you hate Toney right now, but like I think it's an undecided grade because we have to see what he ends up becoming.
Okay.
And it's hard to just even give it a grade in general.
For the Giants, I'm going to give it A- simply because of the fact you got rid of him and you got value. And
so do you say it's not an A or A+ as well because
I got
drafted
We got to see, that because of that, and I want to see how he does with the Chiefs. And for the Chiefs, I'm going to give it a grade. I'm going to give it a B+. I feel like he could be a guy that, can fill in the void of Tyreek Hill. A human joystick, like you said. We saw that one crazy route he ran. Other than that, he didn't do much that game. He caught a screen pass, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
So I think that grade could go up depending on what he does and if he stays healthy. I don't know. Has he been healthy this whole time? We don't know. So I'm going to give it a B+ right now. I think, he will fit in that offense. So for Giants, though, A-, you got rid of him, and he was a bust.
Yep. The Chicago Bears traded Roquan Smith to the Baltimore Ravens for A.J. Klein, a 2023 second-round pick, and a 2023 fifth-round pick. So pretty much the Ravens defense that was already pretty good just got better. Roquan Smith is probably one of the most underrated players in the NFL, in my opinion. I think a lot of people know that he's a good linebacker. Like, if you say, like Roquan Smith, they're like, oh, yeah, he's pretty good. You know what I mean? But, like, people don't realize, like, he's a top 3 linebacker, and he's probably number 2 after Fred Warner. Like, he is that good.
He is elite.
The only reason that he doesn't get that recognition is because he's on the Bears. He was on the Bears.
The Bears.
So, for the Ravens to get that, and to get what I would say was the best player available at the trade deadline for whatever they gave up. Whatever they gave up was fine.
Mm-hmm.
I think that it's going to be the reason that they can go far in the playoffs is because of a guy like Roquan Smith who can hold down that defense and be that Mike linebacker. But, yeah, hopefully they re-sign him because obviously that can make the grade even better. I'm going to give it an A for the Ravens just because, again, I got the best player during the trade deadline. And then for the Bears, you know what? You knew that he was not really happy staying there. Contract talks didn't go how you guys wanted it to. You got something. You got a second-round pick. Just be flat out, right? You got a second.
Yeah.
And then you got, a fifth as well. I'm going to give the Bears an A for it. I think the reason A minus. And you might be like, well, the guy's second. A minus because they had the opportunity to re-sign him. He was willing to stay.
I don't think he was.
No, he was. They were in the contract talks. He wanted to get paid, and they didn't offer him what he wanted.
I don't think he was.
So
he was in the beginning of the season. He wasn't happy, but he decided to play because he didn't want to look like someone that doesn't want to play.
Well, that's just because he's a good teammate.
Yes.
Yeah.
But he did not want to be there.
I think that legitimately, if they gave him what he wanted, he would have stayed.
I wouldn't have stayed.
Because they are turning it around. Well, you wouldn't have stayed. Well, guess what? You're not in the NFL, buddy.
The Bears. Okay, Roquan Smith to the Ravens. I'm giving it an A+. I believe stealing him for a second-round pick is the reason why I'm giving it an A+. And he's going to be making plays for them for years to come. I think they will re-sign him after this year.
They better.
They will. They invested a second-round pick in him. They're going to re-sign him. And then for the Bears, I would give it a B for the grade because you only got a second for him. He's a first-round talent. People know that, hey, he's going to be a free agent at the end of the season, and that's why they only got a second for it. But I think if you would have done it in the beginning of the season, I think you could have got a first. Instead of waiting it out like they did, that's why they got a second.
So I would agree with you that he's a first-round talent. Reason being, Bradley Chubb.
Exactly.
And you know what?
Roquan Smith is better than Bradley Chubb.
Yeah, Roquan Smith is a better player than Bradley Chubb. Roquan Smith is just as good as Christian McCaffrey in terms of level, right? They're both superstars.
Top 3 at their position, probably.
Yeah, when healthy. Yes.
When healthy. Yes.
The thing is, Bradley Chubb kind of had some injury proneness, right?
Yeah.
Christian McCaffrey has some injury proneness. The fact that Bradley Chubb got them a first, I thought McCaffrey they should have got a first for him.
Oh, they should have.
But the fact is, for you getting Roquan Smith with only a second round pick and not giving up a first, that's why I think it's a higher grade for the Ravens.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's why I'm giving an A+, simply because of that.
Yeah, I'll give it an A+ if they re-sign him.
They will re-sign him. There's no way you give up a second round pick and don't re-sign him.
Weird things have happened.
It will happen. They will franchise him.
All right, so this is a trade that Steven told me last week.
Live on the set.
At
the Willard Building.
And I didn't believe him because he said, yo, TJ Hockenson just got traded to the Vikings. I laughed. I said, okay, how did you even think of that? As a joke, right? How did you think I'm just going to say TJ Hockenson got traded to the Vikings? Which is why I was kind of confused. I was very how the heck did you think of that? And he's like, no, I'm being serious. And I'm like, there's literally no way. Why would they trade a top 10 tight end to a division rival who they're going to be facing for the rest of time?
Yeah.
And they're going to have to deal with Hockenson, who would probably get re-signed for at least 5 more years. Why would they do that? It makes no sense. So the Lions traded TJ Hockenson and a 2023 4th-round pick and a 2024 conditional 4th-round pick. So that is crazy that they did that.
Yeah, I think
so. They pretty much traded 2 4ths and Hockenson for a 2023 second and then a 2023 or 2024 third. So they tried to pretty much use. They got rid of TJ Hockenson and a 2023 4th to get a second, and then they gave up because you are getting Hockenson. They gave up a 2024 4th-round pick that's conditional for a 2024 third. So it's kind of swapping.
Yes.
It's a weird trade. I don't like it for the Lions. I saw some of their fans try to say that the trade was smart, try to you know what I mean, play it off, be biased to their team. And saying like, oh, well, we would probably have to pay him. Like, okay, why wouldn't you?
Yeah, you have the money to
He's
pay
T.J.
him.
Hockenson.
Who are you paying right now besides Jared Goff?
Like, nobody.
Nobody.
So, like, you have to play your good players or pay your good players. That is how that works in the NFL. And something I thought about, they're going to end up drafting a rookie quarterback. You just got rid of his safety blanket. And one of the best safety blankets in the league.
Well, you got other weapons on there. You got other weapons. You got St. Brown.
Tight ends are safety blankets.
I know they are. But you got St. Brown. You got Swift, and you're gonna have Williams.
Don't try to be like a Lions fan. Try to play this off.
They got weapons.
They have weapons, but T.J. Hockenson, a tight end,
I know,
who's one of the best tight ends.
Did you know the rookie tight end scored a touchdown this past week?
Congratulations. He's not T.J. Hockenson just yet.
We don't know that. We don't know that yet. That was his first game.
Regardless,
kudos to the Lions for getting that rookie tight end involved. I don't know his name.
Regardless, you get rid of a top 10 safety blanket tight end for your soon-to-be, rookie quarterback, Bryce Young, C.J. Stroud, whoever the heck you guys take. Doesn't make sense to me.
Yeah.
So, with that being said, the Lions, me personally, I mean, you got a second. Like, I'll give you that. You kind of, I don't know. Maybe they saw something in this rookie tight end, like you mentioned, but I don't know. I didn't really like the trade for them. I'm going to give it a C. And then for the Vikings, honestly, considering that they probably will re-sign him because like Irv Smith hasn't been what they expected.
They have to.
Considering that they just got T.J. Hockenson for and like pretty much. I mean, I know the 2024 fourth is conditional, but they got T.J. Hockenson and a fourth. Like, okay, yeah, that's an A for me.
Yeah.
Vikings won that trade by a mile.
Yeah, I think the Vikings won as well. You got T.J. Hockenson, who I consider to be a top 10 tight end in this league. He could be a top 5 with the Vikings offense. Let's see how they use him. It looked really weird. We saw him this past Sunday.
I know. He looks weird in that uniform.
I'm like, that is so weird, but
I kind of liked it.
Yeah. It's going to pay off, I think, in the end. But the Lions, they realize, hey, we're probably never going to win with him. And they didn't want to pay him, which I understand. So I guess you got a second and a third for him. And especially for a tight end, I think that's not bad value because what round did he go in? The first?
What, TJ? Yeah.
Okay.
Him and Noah Fant.
Okay. So getting a second, a third back isn't that bad, but you're just saying we don't want to pay him. And like you said earlier, you're getting rid of that safety blanket for that quarterback that you might have next year. But I think the Vikings, I give it an A because you got a tight end that's really going to help out Kirk Cousins in that playoff run because they're making the playoffs. And having another guy other than Justin Jefferson, T.J. Hockenson, or Justin Jefferson, Adam Thielen, you got Dalvin Cook, and adding another weapon to that offense, it's going to make them hard to stop. So I think, you give the Vikings an A for that trade. And then the Lions, you got 2 good picks, but that's it. And I guess you didn't want to pay them, so a C+, I would say, for their grade, the Lions.
All right, we're going to try to start speeding this up so we can kind of get to the podcast
part. We're like 34 minutes in at the moment.
That's fine. You can finish this up by, you said 34? We could probably finish this up in 6 minutes if we go quick.
Let's go, baby.
Pittsburgh Steelers trade Chase Claypool to the Bears for a 2023 second-round pick. I'm okay with the trade. Second-round pick is a complete overpay, but I can live with it. Justin Fields gets another weapon alongside Darnell Mooney, and I think it will pay off. So I'm going to give the Bears, I'm going to give them a B+. I can't give them an A because they gave up a second. And for the Steelers, to get a second for him, I'm going to give them an A-.
The Steelers, they got a second-round pick for Claypool. I believe they took him with the second-round pick, so they got their value back. I say for the Steelers it is an A because Claypool just hasn't been effective since his rookie year, and they just haven't used him properly in this new offense with Matt Canada. And I've heard he's been a diva in the locker room, so getting rid of him is good. So then I would give it an A. The Bears, I think they overpaid for him, so I'll give it a B. But it does give Justin Fields another weapon. So
yeah. Washington Commanders, they traded William Jackson, and I'm not even going to get into the picks. I'm just going to tell you pretty much what it is. pretty much means if William Jackson plays well, then the Commanders will get like let me see. Oh, they'll probably get like a 6th-round pick. And then obviously if he doesn't play well, then both teams pretty much, they got rid of him for nothing.
Yes.
That's pretty much the best way to put it. Steelers trying to get a veteran quarterback to try to have some of his, skill and leadership kind of rub off on some of the young guys. Pretty much what they did. The grade, I'll for the Steelers to get a cornerback, I'll give them B-. And then for the Commanders, just getting rid of him, you got something for him, I'll give you a B.
That's really low for Steelers. We're going to give it A- for the Steelers because they need some help in that secondary.
He's a free agent, and he probably.
I think they re-sign.
They're rebuilt.
I think
they are rebuilding. They
2-year deal,
guys.
Cheap vet contract. He likes the Steelers culture. Hopefully, and it's early yet. But then I would give the Commanders a B+ because they simply got rid of him and they were about to cut him and they got value for him. So.
Yeah. By the way, guys, just letting you know now, this podcast will easily go over an hour. It's probably going to be our longest one yet, but obviously I'll probably throw something in the beginning, letting them know that's this long because we covered the trade deadline and that if they kind of wanted to skip through that, we have the times for that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, we have the chapter time.
We have the chapter time. So, Denver Broncos traded Bradley Chubb and a 2025 5th-round pick to the Miami Dolphins for Chase Edmonds, a 2023 1st-round pick, and then a 2024 4th-round pick. The Dolphins, they went all in. They got one of the best players available. I like the trade. I'm okay with it. Broncos get a 1st-round pick, which is pretty good for them. And I don't know. It's kind of one of those weird trades where it's like I expected it, but I kind of never knew what to think of it. You know what I mean? Like, why would you trade Bradley Chubb? Because I feel like the Broncos, with what they're trying to do, it made no sense. But then they got a 1st-round pick.
Because they need one after how bad they've been playing this year. That's why they did it.
I guess, but it's not their 1st round, so it doesn't really mean much. In Dolphins, you just made them better, so it's probably a late 1st-round pick at the best, right?
Yeah, so it's something.
It's one of those just weird trades where it's like, okay, I guess. But yeah, Dolphins, just a quick side note, they re-signed him to a 5-year, $110 million
they're really betting on his ceiling.
They are. They want him to be.
He hasn't been a 1st-round talent so far.
Like he was. He was like top 10, right?
He was like number 5.
Like something like that.
He was the 5th overall pick.
They want that. They want that ceiling.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Broncos, I would rate that trade probably an A- simply because you got a 1st-round pick for a guy that hasn't been playing like a 1st-rounder, and you don't have a 1st-round pick this year.
You got Chase Edmonds.
And you also got Chase Edmonds, who will fit in that backfield because you need help right now. Melvin Gordon hasn't been that guy. You lost Javonte Williams with an ACL, so I think that will help. So, yeah, I'm giving it an A- for them. And then the Dolphins, hey, you want to be one of the best teams in AFC. You're proving it this year. You went out and got Tyreek Hill. You got Jalen Waddle last year. And now you got Bradley Chubb with those 3 1st-round picks from that Laramie Tunsil trade. So I think that's a win-win for them. I would rate this trade for them a B+. Let's see if he can actually be that 1st-round talent that he was supposed to be before he got drafted. So I'll give it a B+, simply because of the fact I don't know if he's that elite as he once was.
All right, I'll copy those grades just so we can get through this. One of my favorite trades, if not my favorite trade of the deadline, was the Atlanta Falcons trading Calvin Ridley to the Jacksonville Jaguars for a 2023 conditional 5th-round pick and a 2024 conditional 2nd-round pick. Pretty much, if Ridley ends up re-signing with the Jags and whatnot, that's going to go down as one of the best trades that they've done. Calvin Ridley, underrated, got suspended for gambling on his own team against the Jaguars. He was going to be an Eagle before. I don't know if people remember that. He was the trade for Calvin Ridley to come to the Eagles was accepted by both sides, and the league said no.
Yeah.
So maybe it was either the league said no.
I'm pretty sure the league said no because
I think it was the league said no, but I also think for a part of it was the Falcons denying it because they knew it wouldn't have been fair.
Yeah.
Or whatever. It would have got vetoed anyway. So they're like, okay, let's not. Okay, there are people outside looking at us.
That's good.
Adults. I don't know what they're doing. We have live viewers. But, yeah, I'm going to give the Jags a... Again, it all depends on how like if he stays there. Because I think trading for a guy who's just going to be there for 1 year, giving them a second for that's a little weird, right?
Yeah.
I give the Jags A-, just because they got Trevor Lawrence, a wide receiver 1. And then for the Falcons to get rid of him, I'm okay with it. They got a second, or a conditional second, so it probably could end up becoming a third. That or it could become a first. I have no clue if it goes forwards, backwards, whatever. I'm going to give the Jags the same grade then.
I'm going to give the Jags...
They both get an A-.
An A- right now, because getting Calvin Ridley was a steal for just those draft picks alone, and I think he could be a top 10, top 15 receiver when healthy, and, he's in sync with the offense and not gambling. And then the Jags, or not the Jags. I already said the Jags. The Falcons. The Falcons got rid of Calvin Ridley, and you already have his replacement in Drake London. He's been playing pretty decent this year. Nothing spectacular, but he's a rookie. So, playing with Marcus Mariota, you're not going to be elite, but he's been decent for Marcus Mariota. And I would give the Falcons a B+ because he didn't get much in return, but I understand why he didn't get much in return.
All right. Second to last trade, Jeff Wilson. Is it? Yeah, it is Junior. I had to think about that. Jeff Wilson Jr. Went to the Miami Dolphins, got traded there for a 5th-round pick, 2023. I think it's a steal for the Dolphins. I like Jeff Wilson. I actually think that he has a real chance of being their RB1 for the next few years, or at least like this year, next year. He got reunited with Mike McDaniel, and obviously 49ers don't need Wilson, right? They have McCaffrey now, Elijah Mitchell.
Yeah, exactly.
He's back. I believe that I just saw a report this morning that he was a participant in practice. So
good to have it.
They got rid of him because they knew that they weren't going to end up needing him, and they reunited him with somebody that he knew. So
yeah.
I think part of
it's a win-win for both sides.
Yeah, win-win for both sides. So yeah, I'm honestly going to skip the grades for these ones just because I kind of want to get through them.
Okay.
And
we'll just say it's a win-win for both sides.
Yeah, win-win for both sides. And then the last trade, Colts traded Nyheim Hines to the Buffalo Bills for what? Zach Moss and a 2023 conditional 5th, right?
Yeah. So
I like the trade for the Bills. Singletary and Hines, they're going to be a good pass rushing duo or pass catching duo out of the backfield for Josh Allen to utilize. So I'm okay with it. I think the Bills probably won the trade because Zach Moss isn't really much, and Nyheim Hines is fine. He's a good player, but again, I don't know. I'd say it's a win-win, actually.
I think it's a win-win because, Nyheim Hines wasn't going to do anything for the Colts, and Zach Moss wasn't going to do anything for the Bills.
Yep. So, that was our 2022 NFL trade deadline recap. I hope you guys enjoyed that. So, now we can kind of get to some of the injury news before we get into the actual podcast. Xavier McKinney, Giants star safety, broke his hand from an ATV accident. I believe he was in, what did he say?
He was in Cabo.
Cabo, yes.
For his bye week, having great
Cabo
old time.
During his bye week, and he broke his hand. So, yeah, that's a little bit of a rough one. We're not touching on these.
Oh, yes, we are.
No, we're not. Michael Thomas.
We're
getting through these.
That.
No.
Yes.
No. You don't need to talk about it.
Give me like 2
It's immature. We get it. All right. Michael Thomas. He's likely out for the season with a toe injury. He needs surgery. Josh Allen is limited. Shut up.
I'm touching on it.
No, you're not.
Yes.
There's nothing to touch about.
From a Giants fan's perspective, here we go. Xavier McKinney. It was a brutal loss, star player. I understand you're at Cabo for your bye week. That's cool and all, but, don't do anything stupid like getting an ATV
Homie, he was trying to have some fun.
Oh, he was having fun all right. Now it costing his team at least 4 weeks.
Who cares?
They need him.
He doesn't care.
Thank God we have depth, though, in Dane Belton, and we got Julian Love. But other than that, you just can't be doing that, and I think it was stupid. Brutal loss, and hopefully comes back healthy in time for the Eagles game. I just want him for that.
Is that it? Are you done? Thank you. Michael Thomas, likely out for the season with a toe injury. He needs surgery. People try to make fun of him. I don't think it's anything to make fun of. He dislocated his toe. Obviously, when you're a receiver, you need your feet. At any position, you need your feet.
You need them.
So, for your foot pretty much not to be, comfortable to walk on or let alone run on, okay, that's not really anything to make fun of, right?
He's been injured.
Wishing him the best of luck in his recovery.
He needs to stay
Josh
healthy.
Allen is limited this week with a elbow injury from the Jets game. And then the Packers, they're probably done for. Romeo Doubs carted off the field from this Lions game.
Oh, really? I didn't know that.
Yeah, carted off the field with an apparent ankle injury. Aaron Jones suffered an ankle injury and was seen with a walking boot after the game.
Oh.
Rashawn Gary tore his ACL and is out for the season. And then Eric Stokes also suffered an ankle and knee injury. All of these players,
this season's a wash for
pretty
the Packers.
big, name players for that team.
Yeah.
They're all pretty much out for what would be the foreseeable future.
You do got A.J. Dillon, though, so I'm not worried about the running back spot. But
good luck,
other
Green
position,
Bay. You're done with. All right, time for the actual podcast. Let's go.
The actual podcast.
The actual podcast, when we actually talk about stuff. Here we go. The Colts, they lost. They got blown out by the New England Patriots, and they fired Frank Reich. And you know who they
I knew
they
he was
hired?
on the hot seat.
They hired their previous retired 6-time Pro Bowl center, Jeff Saturday.
Yeah.
If you're wondering, no, he was not on the Colts coaching staff this year.
He was an ESPN analyst.
He was an ESPN analyst, and I believe he was coaching a middle school football team.
Yeah.
They didn't say, whoever the assistant head coach was, they didn't let them become the interim. They said, Jeff Saturday, you're him. So
they wanted to give him the opportunity, and I guess give it to him now, because they were probably going to hire him at the end of the season.
Yeah, maybe. But they, Rooney.
They want to give him experience under his belt.
Is it called the Rooney Rule or Rooney? Right.
You don't have to do the Rooney Rule if it's mid-season though.
No. I'm saying if they want to keep him, they'll still have to interview other people.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter because they won't hire them anyways.
Yeah.
If they want Jeff Saturday, they get Jeff Saturday.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's really weird. I don't know how to view it. I would guess I could compare it to is the Mike Vrabel type thing the Titans did. He was a former player, and he has football experience, so they went out and hired him, and he's been successful. Do I think Jeff Saturday will be Mike Vrabel? I don't know yet. It's way too early to tell, but it's an interesting hire. We'll see how he does, and Sam Ellinger's still the starting quarterback, so that's not going to be a difference.
All right. Raiders, they fall to 2-6. Devontae Adams had 10 receptions for 146 yards, 2 touchdowns. Even when guys like Adams have had good games, Josh Jacobs has been insane the last few weeks, other than probably this past weekend. But it just shows the players are playing. Guess who's not playing, or guess who's not paying attention? The coach.
Oh, yeah.
Hey, Daniels, you're done for. He's 2-6. You're done for.
I would have fired him already. I'm sorry.
I don't get why you would even keep him. I feel like he knows he's fired too.
Yeah, you have all this talent, and the guy on the Packers, the special teams coordinator right now.
They're better.
He had a way better season, brought them into the playoffs after the John Gruden scandal.
They had a winner-go-home game.
Yeah. Man, I don't know.
And they lost to a team that went to the Super Bowl.
Yes. Exactly.
It's not like they lost to someone who lost literally the next game.
Yeah.
So
I don't know. McDaniels, bad hire. I didn't like it from the start. So I don't know. You got to move off them quickly.
Yeah. Aaron Rodgers and the Packers, they fall to 3-6 with their loss to the Lions. I believe they lost 16-9 or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
All I'm gonna say is Rodgers looked unmotivated. He did not look like he wanted to be playing for the Packers, and I don't blame him because they continue not to get him help. Again, we said this before. When he had Devontae Adams, no excuses.
Yeah.
You have the best receiver in the NFL.
Mm-hmm.
Now that he doesn't have him, I'll give him all the excuses in the world. All the excuses. I know he got Aaron Jones. I know he got some guys with the running game. I like Romeo Doubs for the future and whatever. But, dude has no weapons to throw to.
Yeah, I have a question for you. Do you think Matt LaFleur is on the hot seat?
No. Because I don't think that there's many teams that could do.
Now,
if you gave a team Randall Cobb, Sammy Watkins, and guys and told them, hey, go be successful, everyone's getting fired then. And because we're talking about the Packers, need to go back real quick. Another injury they had, Christian Watson is out as well.
Yeah.
I didn't really put that on there. I didn't think it was massive news because he wasn't playing anyways. But with all the injuries, he would have been playing. So,
but this Packers roster, I would say, is pretty much the same other than Devontae Adams and Zadarius Smith being gone, right?
Yeah, the defense is also underperforming. They should have been one of the best defenses in the NFL.
So
we talked about that. We made predictions.
Yeah, I don't know. I think LaFleur might be on the hot seat, but I don't think he'll get fired. I don't think again, he'll be on a short leash weapons, next season. Like next season, if they're bad again, I have a feeling he might get fired.
Also, they've kind of been starting to listen to Aaron Rodgers more, or at least that was the goal. Obviously, they didn't listen to him getting weapons, but like Rodgers likes LaFleur, so I don't think that they would do, because that would be like, okay, you don't get me weapons, you let Devontae leave, now you get rid of my coach. Mm-hmm. Are you serious right now?
Yeah, I don't know. I think he might be on a hot seat if they're bad again next year, though.
Yeah, for sure. Joe Mixon and the Bengals, they cruised their way to 5-4 over the Panthers. Mixon had a 5-touchdown performance. Very impressive. Kind of showing the whole world that, hey, I'm still here. I still exist. You guys talk about all these other top 10 running backs. I'm here. And it was a great performance. He just, every time the Panthers were like already like down on the ground, like, please stop, he was like, no.
Dude,
just straight up no.
I didn't expect the Panthers to play that bad because they've looked good the past few weeks. When they fired Matt Rule, I didn't think they get blown out like that. Joe Mixon just put on an elite performance and just came out of nowhere. I didn't think he scored 5 touchdowns, maybe like 2 or 3, but 5. I'm like, oh my God, they can't stop this man. But yeah, I don't know. Very disappointing in the Panthers. They've looked good. Like they almost beat the Falcons the other week if it wasn't for that DJ Moore taking the helmet off penalty. But yeah, I really like the Bengals. I think they'll make the playoffs, and they're that same team. There's that team that's always going to be constantly fighting and winning games. So don't count them out.
Yep. All right. The Jets, they beat the Bills 20-17. Josh Allen blamed the game on himself, saying that he was playing horribly, or that it's hard to beat, or it's hard to win a game when your quarterback plays bad. And so he took his blame, and honestly, that's exactly what Philly wants from people. Josh Allen. I was gonna say come to Philly, but we have Jalen Hurts, so you can stay where you are.
Why would he come? No, bad.
Bad?
Bad. That wouldn't happen ever.
I know. It was a joke, all right?
Bad.
And then I was like...
That was a bad joke.
No. See, it was a joke, and then I
didn't
in the
laugh.
middle... You just laughed.
I just laughed at my joke.
Yeah. The reason I didn't want to say it is because I know Eagles fans would have taken that seriously, and they would have been like, you're turning on Jalen Hurts? Like, okay.
Anyone would take Josh Allen over Jalen Hurts. Stop it.
Let's be real.
Stop it.
Anyways, Jets, good job.
Good job.
You guys
Johnny's eating ice cream.
He is eating ice cream. He got an ice cream cake.
Ooh.
Yeah, they said 6 wins.
Oh, that's 6 wins. What type of ice cream cake? I want to know. I want to celebrate.
Yo, Johnny, can you let us know in the comments?
Yeah, let us know, bro, if you're watching this.
And can you join the podcast, my guy?
Yeah, dude, we would love to have you
as a guest. Yeah, the Jets being 6-3, I'm so happy for them.
New
and
York,
Zach
baby.
Wilson, shout out to him. He played very good. He did his job. He had some throws that were like, okay, he's locked in.
Yeah.
So
it's been impressive this year.
Guess what, Zach Wilson? If you play like that every week, you won't have to worry about your job security.
You might get that second contract.
You will get. It's not even you might. You will.
You will.
Yeah. Moving on to the next one. Tom Brady and the Bucs. They snapped their losing streak of 3 games and they beat the Rams. Brady, he had surpassed 100,000 passing yards in his career. GOAT. Just GOAT. Like greatest of all time. Not even close. There's no one that even comes close to him. And it's funny. He surpasses 100,000 passing yards in his career, and then goes ahead and has another game-winning drive at the end.
Yeah, man.
Beautiful. It was like poetry. I loved it.
I just want to say this. Tom Brady is undefeated ever since he got divorced officially. So keep that in mind.
It's over.
It's over.
And just to, just to add on to that real quick.
Here we go.
Not the divorce.
Okay.
No, I have the papers right here, man.
Oh, shoot.
No, just to talk about Tom Brady and the game-winning drive.
He did it so fast.
He did it so fast.
And it was the same play to Scott.
I hope that the people that don't like Tom Brady, this is likely one of his last years. Not his last year. Start appreciating him. Like what he is doing is insane.
Was great.
He does it all the time. Homie, I needed the Rams to get a stop for my fantasy team to win, and I ended up saying, "Screw it, Tom Brady, go win this game, go."
He did it,
and he did. He heard me. He said, "I got Matt's permission. We're good.
We're good, man. We're good."
Yeah, Bears. Let's talk about the Bears, man.
The Bears.
They put up a fight against the Dolphins. It was 35-32, right?
Yeah,
something like that. Let's just confirm that real quick. Talk to them, please. Talk to the viewers. Say something nice.
The Bears, Justin Fields looked actually
all right,
really
I got
good.
It. You're done. They won 35-32. Tyreek Hill, he's the first receiver this season to 1,000 yards. He had 7 receptions, 143 yards, and a tutty. Justin Fields, on the other hand, 17 of 28 for 123 yards and 3 touchdowns, no turnovers. He also had 15 carries for 178 yards and 1 touchdown. So that's 4 total touchdowns for Justin Fields. He has been on fire the last 3 weeks.
Yeah,
he has been like,
keep it up this week.
He realized he's like, I'm a franchise quarterback. Wait a minute.
Ooh.
Wait a minute.
He's really good running the ball.
He's
it's like he's elite.
He's elite. He's right there with
giving
Lamar.
me Lamar vibes right now.
He's
up there.
You know what's funny? Because
it was a 61-yard touchdown run he had. I'm like, oh my god! He was so fast.
What's funny is that when Lamar started his career, he was called, he's a running back. He doesn't pass.
That adds a different element to the game, though.
Then he started to evolve as a passer.
That adds a different element to the game.
And then same with Jalen Hurts, right? They said all he can do is run the ball. He doesn't pass. Yeah. He's evolved. Justin Fields, he's next up. He had the running. He's a running back. Now he's going to begin evolving, and I'm excited.
Mm-hmm.
I'm very excited for the Bears. They deserve this. They deserve a quarterback. And then the next game, Falcons blew another lead. It wasn't a big lead, but they blew it. Chargers, they beat the Falcons with a Cameron Dicker game-winning field goal. Dicker, the kicker,
Eagle,
with his second game-winning field goal.
He's solid, man.
They advanced to 5-3, and my question is, are they legit?
No.
What the heck, man?
You
didn't let me finish.
I said no.
Are they legit? The Chargers, are they legit?
No.
Dude. I think they are, because they are 5-3, and the injuries that they have had, insane.
Mm-hmm.
Just as bad as any other team in the NFL. Maybe not the Giants and the Packers at this point.
The Giants are so injured.
It's funny, right? The Giants, you guys constantly have these injuries.
Every year.
Green Bay just they said, all right, what the Giants have from a week-to-week basis, we don't want the week-to-week. Just give us all of them.
Yeah.
Go down together. But yeah, I think the Chargers, they're going to be getting Keenan Allen back. Obviously, Mike Williams, I believe he's been out. He'll be back. They'll be good. I have faith in them. I don't think that their stuff, or I don't think that they kind of fell off. I mean, they fell off, but that's just because of injuries. They're 5-3. They're in a good place. Good for them. And then lastly, after a rough start to the season, the Patriots, they are 5-4 heading into the bye week. Bill Belichick just keeps on winning.
Want to know why?
I know why.
Because they remain with Mac Jones.
I knew you were going to say
who's better than Bailey's happy.
That's funny. How much would you bet that if Josh McDaniels got fired, he would go right back to the Patriots?
Oh, he's going right
back. Because what Belichick does is... That's
what they're missing right now.
Bro, what Belichick does...
Yeah, he gets his former guys.
No, it's not even that. He's like, all right, this is what you guys do. Go do it. They do it. Then they get a head coaching gig, right? They're like, oh my God, this is my next head coach. They go there. They fail. They fall flat on their face. And Belichick is like... Belichick's just standing there. He's like, it's okay. Come back.
Come back.
It's okay. I listen, I knew all along it was me that made you look good, but now you know. So now come back to me.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So now we can get into the fun part of the podcast. We are doing our NFL midseason award predictions and Super Bowl predictions. For the Super Bowl prediction, we can say who we think the final two will be. I'm going to probably give 3 teams from each conference that I think have a legitimate shot going there.
Okay.
So, MVP right now. Who do you have?
I'm gonna give it to Josh Allen because we've seen him beat good teams this year. We've seen him beat the Chiefs. We've seen him beat the Rams.
Mm-hmm.
They were getting counted out for both those games, and he beat those tough teams that everyone thought they would lose to.
Yeah.
And proving that I think, will help him with his MVP case. And their roster isn't talented. They have talent on it, like the offense, other than Stephon Diggs. And the running back situation isn't the greatest. He is carrying that offense. It is all him. If they don't have him, I don't think they'd be a contender. That's why I call him the MVP right now.
Okay. I'm going to go with Josh Allen as well.
Okay.
Seen a lot of people after this last performance, and I'm not talking just Eagles fans. I've seen a lot of people from this past performance that he blamed on himself. Use this as a way to say that Jalen Hurts has overpassed him. Jalen Hurts is on his tail for sure with the stats. I mean, the stats look like they're there. Like the stats are there. Like it's not like oh my God, it's just because of the record. Like no, his stats are there, and he's on Josh Allen's tail. And Josh Allen, I have faith that he can keep going and finish the season strong.
Hopefully he stays healthy with that elbow, though.
Yeah, if he doesn't, that could be when Jalen Hurts truly comes through for it.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I got Josh Allen. For the offensive player of the year, I think it's Tyreek Hill.
Oh, yeah.
I think that he's going to finish with pretty much Cooper Kupp season, right?
Mm-hmm.
And honestly, can't even count him out breaking 2,000 at this point because he's there. There's people that are like 200 yards away. He's just every game is 100 yards. It's absolutely insane. I think it's Tyreek.
I agree with you. Tyreek Hill has been very, very special this year. The Dolphins went out and said, hey, we need to give Tua a weapon, and they delivered. And they got him Tyreek Hill, who's been probably, I would say, the best receiver right now in football, like the way he's been playing. I know he doesn't have like all the number one receiver attributes, but stat-wise, it proves it.
Mm-hmm.
So I would go with Tyreek Hill as my offense player of the year as well.
Yeah. Defensive player of the year, that's a rough one. Right now, it really is up in the air.
Mm-hmm.
Matthew Judon is playing absolutely amazing.
Mm-hmm.
But I do think that the media and the narratives, they do kind of tend to control these kind of awards.
Yes.
You know, it's just like with Aaron Donald. Like, he was, he was always insane. Like, Aaron Donald's one of the best players of all time. Defensive players of all time. So it's just one of those things, man, where I think for the DPOY award, the media truly controls that award. And I think that that's going to be the reason. And not to say that this player doesn't deserve it, but like I think Micah will win it mostly because of the media putting all this like, oh, he's the defensive player. Know what I mean?
What's his stats looking like right
They're
now?
up there. Like they are up there. And
okay.
It's also like he gets double teamed now and all of that. But yeah, I think that Micah has pretty much got it locked up at this point.
You think?
Yeah, I think Judon could make a play for it. You also have to give guys like Chris Jones some love and Jeffrey Simmons. He's been playing out of his mind. But I do think that Micah will end up winning it because Micah will be the type of guy that would finish the season extremely strong.
I was going to give it to an Eagle. I was going to give it to Gardner Johnson or James Bradbury right now.
Defensive player of the year?
Yeah, dude, they've been locking boys up.
I know they've been locking boys up, but
I think
corner against defensive,
they're undefeated right now.
They got to play like Gilmore.
They're undefeated. Dude, Bradbury has been playing like a top one.
I'm okay
top
with
one.
I think CJ could win it, but it's hard for a safety to get it.
I don't know. I'm giving it to the Eagles secondary now.
I appreciate you.
Dap up.
Yeah.
Right now, they've been amazing. Like the whole Eagles secondary.
They have. They really have been amazing. You can't even count out Darius Slay because he doesn't let people get catches.
Yeah.
Like,
who would you say is having a better season though right now between Bradbury and Slay?
I think you would have to say Bradbury because he's the one that actually gets targeted. But that's like a hard argument, right? Because it's like
if you're not getting
targeted, that's because you're locking them the heck up.
I would give it to Bradbury or Gardner Johnson right now.
That's fine.
Because like I've seen
elite
play. Yeah. But if we were ranking it 1, 2, 3 out of the Eagles secondary, I would say Bradbury's 1.
That's fine.
Gardner Johnson 2, 3 Slay. I would give it to those guys right now. They've been playing very, very good football, and as a Giants fan,
bro,
I'm scared.
Dude, I'm like rolling around in these seats, bro. They're so uncomfortable at times.
Yeah.
All right. Offensive Rookie of the Year, my boy. Say it.
Kenneth
Walker.
The third. Dude, he's been
He's
insane.
so good. He is so good. He's going to be easily the next like top 10 running back. Like he's getting there.
Dude, I traded for him in fantasy, and ever since he's had 20 like plus points every game.
Yeah, like,
except the Giants game. Like, dude, he's been unstoppable. Like, I don't know why he didn't go in the first round. I thought he was a first round back. I guess they didn't.
I thought he should have gone in the first, but I think running backs. It's
hard
to
the value of the running back position isn't as good as it once was. It has declined over the years. But as you see, my guy, Kenny Walker, has been that man. He has been carrying that Seahawks offense. Geno has helped a lot, but if they don't have Kenny Walker, do they win those games?
Are you trying to write?
Listen to me.
Geno didn't write back.
I don't care. Listen to me. If they don't have Kenny Walker, do they win all those games?
To be fair, Kenny Walker didn't play in the beginning of the season right away.
I know.
Because they had Rashad Penny.
Yes.
And guess who was winning those games at the time?
Geno. Yeah.
But I think Geno still can. But I think that it takes a lot off of him to have a guy like Kenny Walker who just literally decides that he wants to bounce every which way and get through the defense at literally all times. He is like it's hard because like when you give like guys like prediction or comparisons, it's like like older players, people from like 5 years ago, 6 years. He's literally just a baby Saquon.
Mm-hmm.
He really is.
He's been playing like him.
So, yeah, that's my offensive rookie.
I also want to give a shout-out to Dameon Pierce. I know he will not win the award, but he has been a stud. So
he's a workhorse.
He's a runner-up, I would say.
Like Kenny Walker or Kenneth Walker. Kenneth Walker.
I call him Kenny Walker.
I know.
Right now.
I always.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. My boy.
Walker, he is insane, but like Pierce is like a workhorse. Pierce can get 30
I feel like
carries
if you put Pierce on the Seahawks, he would win the award.
Yeah.
So.
But, okay. Defensive Rookie of the Year, Sauce Gardner.
Oh, yeah.
He's been locked down. Locked down. Like, Tariq Woolen, amazing. He's getting the picks. He's going to be easily, like, the second in votes. But, like, I'm sorry, bro. You got drafted the wrong year if you want to win that as a corner. Because Sauce Gardner. He is...
We say he's the best receivers in football up right now.
Yeah, like he made Diggs struggle a little bit.
Exactly. Like you got to give it to him. He's been playing really, really well, especially as a rookie. Like corners tend to struggle when they come out.
They take like 2 years
of the draft, and he's been very elite. And I would consider him a top 5 corner right now. So he's definitely my defensive rookie of the year.
Alrighty, coach of the year. I'm gonna give it. It really does depend, right?
Yes.
Because the narratives really do choose awards.
You know who I'm giving it to.
I know who you're giving it to.
I'll let you speak.
I think it's between... I'm going to say it's between 3 coaches right now. And they're all in the NFC.
Okay. There's two of them.
No, sorry.
Two of them in the NFC
I'm going to say four. Four
coaches. I'm
going to say 4 coaches. I'm going to start from the 4th to the 1st, okay?
Okay, here we go.
I think number 4 is Pete Carroll.
All right.
I think you have to give him some credit for what he's been able to do. They lost Russ, and they still are. They're playing really good. Number 3 is probably Robert Saleh, right?
Oh yeah,
absolutely insane what he's done with the Jets. What a turnaround for them. Number 3 is Brian Dable. Or sorry, number 2 is Brian Dable. He changed the culture. He changed that franchise for the good.
Baby.
It's a new era for them. They're no longer the New York Giants. Like when we're like, oh yeah, the New York Giants. Or sorry, no. They're no longer the Giants. They are the New York Giants.
They're the New York Football Giants.
I'll never say that.
Well, I will.
Okay.
I'm happy to be a Giants fan.
It's just one of those like differences, right? It's like, oh yeah, we play the Giants next week, right? It's we play the New York Giants next. Like, you know what I mean? Like it's like they're like
you look at the schedule
like,
now.
Okay,
you
like
fear us.
You
fear us.
I don't know. Yeah,
you fear us.
And then number 1, I have Nick Sirianni. Nick Sirianni's been amazing for us. I know that people have the argument. See, there's always 2 different sides, right? There, who's the coach that's winning the most, and then they have who's doing the most with what they have.
Mm-hmm.
And that's where the narrative is always different from year to year. I think if you guys went 7-1 and like went 8-2, 8-1, like, you know what I mean? Like that was kind of your record. then I think it would have been a no-doubter. But let's be real, right now from, divisional and all that, it does have you guys as third in the NFC East. I'm sure that will change over time. And it doesn't mean that he doesn't deserve it, because I think that regardless, Dable could win it next year as well, because you'll only get better. But I think that right now, listen, if the Eagles finish with like 1 loss or 2 losses, he's winning it. It's not even a question.
Oh, yeah.
Now, I'm going to be completely fair to you, and this is probably the most unbiased thing I will say.
I want to hear it.
Sirianni will win it.
Why?
Because of the record. He will win it because of the record.
Now I got a question for you.
He doesn't deserve it.
Got a question for you.
That's my non-bias coming through.
Question for you.
What?
Come December 11th, Giants beat the Eagles.
No.
Say it happens.
It's not happening.
Hypothetical.
You don't have the roster to compete with what we have.
Hypothetical. If we win and say we split this year.
I don't think that would make
hypothetical.
No, I promise you I don't think that would change anything.
That would change it.
For you guys, for Giants fans, yes, it would.
Nick Sirianni,
for the rest of the NFL, they don't care.
Because Nick Sirianni is considered the coach of the year right now, right? Say Brian Dable, who's right behind him in this race.
Well, no, I actually
beats him.
I think Dable's considered the coach of the year right now, but I don't think he'll finish with it because you guys will end up losing a few more games.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
I could see that happening because of the injury bug right now. So.
Everyone knows the coaches. I mean, the wins are what makes the coach of the year. I think that we could lose to you guys. We could get swept by you guys, and Sirianni would probably still win it. Because guess what? We would have 2 losses on the season then.
Yeah, but then they came from what coach?
They don't care about that. They care about the win record.
They would care. I think they would.
No. See, this is no.
Yes.
Regardless, Nick Sirianni wins.
So you're saying if the
opinion.
Giants,
and just to add on, I think Sirianni will win it. But kind of go back to what I said, I think he will win it. But it doesn't mean that I think that he deserved it more than Brian Dable, because I do see what Brian Dable has done. We got to move on because it is 24. Okay. We're not even going to be able to do our predictions here.
We can figure it out.
But yeah, we have buy or sell after this. So let's just quickly get through that. Your coach of the year is Brian Dable.
Yes.
I pretty much covered.
Brian Dable is my coach of the year.
I pretty much covered everything that you would have said anyways. He changed the culture. He changed everything.
New era, baby.
New era for them. Comeback player of the year, I have no clue. I genuinely don't know players that have really come back. It's always a hard award for me. Geno Smith is on there. Dak Prescott is on there if he finishes strong. Not really, actually.
I know who it is.
Who?
It's the Saquon Barkley.
Oh, shoot. I forgot he existed.
It's the Saquon Barkley.
It's Saquon. Not even a question.
This man has carried this Giants team and has made them relevant.
And guess what?
Because of Brian Dable.
He didn't carry them on not this past Sunday, the Sunday before, and they lost. That proves how
that's how valuable he is. If he is not playing his game, Giants will lose.
Exactly. So
he's a comeback player of the year.
Let's clap it up for Saquon.
Yes, we are, baby.
We are.
It's prediction time.
It is for the Super Bowl prediction. Just real quick, playoff picture. Number 1, I'm going to go AFC. Bills, Chiefs, and I'm going by seeds. Number 1, Bills. Number 2, Chiefs. Number 3, Ravens. Number 4, Titans. Number 5, Jets. Number 6, Dolphins. Number 7, Chargers. On the bubble is the Patriots, the Bengals, the Colts, the Browns. And I'm going to cut it off after 4, right? Because the Broncos aren't going to make it. And then for the NFC,
you really talk about the bubble.
Number 1 is, I'm just bringing them up because those are teams that could make a play for it.
Yeah.
Number 1, the Eagles. Number 2, the Vikings. Number 3, Seahawks. 4, Bucs. 5, Cowboys. 6, Giants. 7, 49ers. And then on the bubble is the Falcons, Commanders, Rams, and Saints. Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to say the 3 teams from each division that I think have a legitimate chance to go there, or from the conferences. The Eagles, and this is for me. Eagles, Vikings, and Bucs. No, sorry. Well, shoot, maybe I have to add 4 then. Because you can't count out Tom Brady, right? We all know that.
You can't count out Tom Brady.
You agree?
I agree.
So I'm gonna give 4 then. Eagles, Vikings, Bucs, 49ers. Those are my 4 from the NFC. And then for the AFC, I think it's probably the the Bills, Chiefs, Dolphins.
Now, are you picking the teams to win a Super Bowl, or are you just saying 4 teams from each conference?
That I think could make it there.
Well,
and for the AFC, I'm only giving 3 because I think the Bills, Chiefs, and Dolphins are like the only ones.
I'm going to change it up. I'm going to give you the 2 teams that will be in the Super Bowl.
Well, I was going to give you that.
Okay.
I think that the Super Bowl teams, hopefully,
we got to go faster here.
Bills, Eagles.
Bills, Eagles. Okay. Now, I'm going to say this. I think it's going to be Bills, Eagles as well. Eagles, I think they are the strongest team right now in the NFC, and it's really hard for another team to compete with their type of talent right now. Mm-hmm. But I'm not going to count out the Niners, the Vikings, or the Bucs like you. And then top 4 teams in AFC.
Wait, count out? Oh, you're going to count them out.
I'm not going to count them out. I think.
Like you agree with me not to count them out?
Yes, those are the top 4 teams. Like any given Sunday, those teams could beat the Eagles. They could, but I don't think it would happen.
I don't think they would.
I'm not going to count them out. Yeah, that's what I mean. And then AFC, give me the Bills. Mm-hmm. I think they're going to go to the Super Bowl in advance. And then I got the Chiefs. And then I would probably say the Dolphins right now with how Tyreek Hill's been playing. And then 4, I think it's the Bengals.
Okay, that's fine.
That's what I think.
All right, we got to wrap it up here. 28, I'm going to have to put this SD card in here and then obviously get the video out, so we have to save some time for that. Buy or sell, that'll be on the next episode. We will see you guys again real quick just to finish it off with a nice little prediction right here. I think the Dolphins go to the Super Bowl.
What?
I know.
You just said the Bills Eagles.
I know, but you know
you can't just change.
No. I'm going to change it then. I think the Dolphins do it. Dolphins Eagles.
All right, well then the Eagles win.
Okay. Dolphins Eagles. I see it. So yeah, you got any hot take? One last hot take. Where do you think Odell's going to go? Put it in the universe.
Odell Beckham, and it's not a hot take then.
Okay, just say it.
Odell Beckham's going to the Buffalo Bills. You will see him there by the start of December.
I thought you were just going to end it like there. Just
by the start of December. No. By the start of December.
All right, guys. We'll see you in the next one. Remember to leave a like, subscribe, put on the notifications.
Everything.
We have
Socials.
Instagram. We have Twitter. Yeah, make sure you guys follow us on those as well. Share
TikTok.
us. Help us get discovered. We will see you in the next one. Peace.
BenchWire out.